So we're live.
That link from the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I look crazy when I'm talking.
It's a black city.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So the guys are back, right? They don't even know we're live yet. So I'm letting them wrap up for a second. Okay. Thank you guys.
I tell my
Diddy
boys
calling
that
the Grammys out.
totally different.
Catch y'all later, yeah.
It's like a aha moment to them. They're like, what?
Oh, the white Grammys.
Yeah, because Diddy said Grammys have a lack of diversity and they have 365 days to get it right.
Oh,
But you know the Grammys is a
oh, they going in,
it's
my guys.
an audio contest. It's not who's popular.
Everything you learn.
That's why
It's
a lot
not,
of rap
it's
things.
not even a real contest.
No, because the engineers choose it. It's like an audio contest, like meaning like who has the best
Streams and stuff like that.
That's why a lot of like Beyonce, you know, Tyler Creator, people that have like a lot of instruments in their actual songs win because it's usually it is a. I just learned it.
Automation.
The producer just broke it down and was like, yeah, it's like it's a. That too. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, I get it.
Well, then hip hop will never win because everything.
That's why.
That's why hip hop is not winning.
Tyler Creator won because Tyler Creator has like a lot of instruments in his thing compared to a lot of like artists. Black artist wins is usually, you know, someone who has like a lot of instruments in their
Like symphonies and different,
yeah.
you see they more raw sound.
Right.
Okay. All right, guys. So this is what we do behind the scenes, y'all. This is what we do behind the scenes here at Late Night with Davi. We are live and we're back on Strong Arm Radio. As you all can see, those of you who are looking at Facebook, I got Mr. Will. I call him so serious, but Will Serious is in the building. My little Scorpio flame over here.
It's us.
We gonna get it in. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you.
It has been.
What's been going on with you?
A little bit of everything. I graduated, y'all.
I know. Congratulations. Not but congratulations, like the black folks say.
No, I appreciate that. It's something that I've been, as you can, being around, you know, a lot of incredible folks, you know, all the time. It's just always been something for me that I'm just like, man, I have to stay the course and achieve that goal, regardless of, you know, how this society want to say, oh, it's too late. It's too late. I got too much responsibilities now. That was never an option for me. Just an extended break. But, you know, in the long haul, I got the job done. So 6 weeks into my master's, I jumped right back into it. So
which was very wise of you to do so.
Yeah, I got that juice right now.
Oh, got that juice. He got that juice.
So it was just one of those things where I didn't delay like I did with my you know with my BS. So I'm excited about that.
So you're in a leadership program for your master's program, right?
Yeah, it's actually a master's in management with a concentration in leadership. So I'm excited. I struggle with that. That was another thing.
Yeah, because I thought you were going to be like something like a dentist or going to the medical field.
Yeah. You know, I was getting pulled becoming a physician. Because I've been employed with Nova Southeastern University for about 13 years in their health profession division, and as you can imagine, a lot of the providers there are just like, listen, you might as well just, you know, join the team.
Right.
And I thought about it long and hard. I was actually thinking about going to med school and becoming an optometrist. So,
oh wow.
I literally can low key do a whole eye exam. Like seriously, I just don't have the license to do it, but I can seriously coordinate a whole eye exam, fit you for contacts, give you a prescription, tell you what your dilated state is, to let all that. So
that is dope.
But I chose to go, you know, the opposite. I just seriously didn't see another 4 years of schooling, man. That part of it was discouraging. But the great thing is that I still decided to further my education and just take a step towards that master's. But it's never too late. But my being in optometry for as long as I've been in, I really wanted to get into something that I was a little bit more passionate about, and not so much where people wanted me to do. So yeah, that's the key. And then once I'm done with that, the goal is to get into my JD degree, become a JD. So that's the latter part of this whole process.
So you said forget going straight into law school. Let me go ahead and get this leadership under my belt. But ultimately, you want to get your JD.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my JD for sure.
So I know you are an amazing father.
Absolutely. I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I know for you, modeling, I know we're going to get into the whole mentoring, but first, we always say that you can't do out in the community what you cannot do at home,
Right.
especially when you are a leader. And the velocity and the influence that you have on so many young, not even just young men, but even young girls, you have that universal touch when you're dealing with your influence in the community. How has that been for you to set that standard for your son that, hey, although I had a delay is not denial. And if you work hard, you can achieve anything. How is that for you, modeling that for your son?
My son, he's my reason for the season, straight up.
Love it.
You know, when you look into the course in which society is being driven into, that was something that I feared, you know, watching my son being raised in a world where, you know, he can't walk around the corner. You know, we used to be able to walk to the corner store.
Facts.
You know, and that's non-existent right now.
Right.
You know, we used to be able to, you know, you hear an ice cream truck, just run
Run out to the-
outside. You know what I'm saying?
Hot sausage.
That's it, and you just put your hand out. Now, you don't hear ice cream trucks come by.
Very rarely.
So, as far as my son, it's been enjoyable, but it's also been a challenge because. Like you say, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get my degree. You know, I can't push education to him and say, okay, you know what, this is what you have to do to be successful. And I myself haven't displayed, you know, the need or the desire to further my education. So I remember when I did graduate, our graduation ceremony was in Baltimore. I got a call from him telling me, Dad, congratulations. Now, we talking about a 7-year-old. Real live tears. Real live tears. So
I do it to you.
It's almost like iron sharpens iron. Like
It
we
does.
both feed off of each other. So that hasn't been, you know, hard as a lot of people may think. But and also, you know, I did I go around to schools, high schools, middle school, you name it. We do book readings. But I went to, I say that to say that I went to Miami Norland Senior High School. Shout out to all the Vikings. I'm not a Viking, but shout out to them.
Shout out to them Vikings.
So
Miami
I
guys.
went there. I was actually called by them to sit down with the boys.
Okay.
And it might have been like four guys, and the other three guys came in suits, ties, everything. And here I am walking in t-shirt, hat, and that was intentional. I wanted them to see me how they see themselves.
Okay.
So has been my rule of thumb. I want them to, whatever wall they have up, I want them to know that, listen, we go talk about it. And so that's been the remedy. So and I take that in the home and outside the home. So
Now, you just said something that just struck a chord with me.
okay.
So you're sitting down with these young men at Miami Norland, and y'all getting in the real. What is on the hearts of our youth, our young men today? And I want you to give me like a common thread, like things that you see consistently across the board with our young black men.
They hurt. They are hurt. They're hurt in similar ways. Like a young boy. I think I put it on my post. I'm not sure if you've seen it. As soon as I walked out, I had to say something about it. He pulled me to the side and he said, why parents don't love like us, like how they want us to love? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And then he said, so his dad hasn't been a part of his life for quite some time, and he found his dad on Facebook, and he reached out to his father, and his father was somewhere else living a whole nother life, raising other kids and everything like that. So even in the midst of that, he was like, you know, he sent them a message, and you know, when you can tell the person read the message, the little
And left you on
bubble,
red?
no, the bubble, your little
You
picture
say
drops
type it?
down
Yeah.
to the message, and he noticed that he read it, and he deleted and blocked them
What?
straight up. So he was just like, man. So that satisfaction of wanting to be loved and wanting to
Rejected
to
and
do, yeah, and he got that. He felt abandoned. He felt so. You know, how do you tell a kid, listen, despite how you're feeling, you know, you have a life, you have to reach your full potential, you know, getting all that and seeing young boys just tear up. It's just like, wow. I can see why the discourse can change within a second. You know,
Wow.
what could have been is now what is, and what he could have been is not what he ends up. So it's a tragic story out there right now, and it creates walls, frustration, and I don't like to say use that as an excuse, but these are things that are damaging our young men.
And I always say that if you see me, I always talk about where's the love.
Yeah.
You know, I love on my son, I love on my niece. You know, I love on other people, and I say we are in a love deficient world.
Absolutely, and
we need more love.
It's not even about the materialistic; it's time, and that's one thing that we can't ever get back. It's time, and it sounds cliche, but it's true. It's true, and these boys just want time to talk, express themselves, let you know how they feel, and that short period of time, maybe about 25 to 30 of them was like, can I get your phone number?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, call me. What's up? It's not a problem. They don't want anything else but your time to kind of like, I guess, you know, follow in that right path of success. You know, they see firsthand what success kind of sort of looks like, and they want to obtain it by any means necessary. On the contrary, what anybody may think, these boys really want to do right by our communities and want to achieve high success. They really do.
And I always, you know, ask them, like, what's going on with our parents? When you said that about the young man, and you reached out to his dad, and he poured his little heart out, and I believe, and I just hope in good faith, a good faith interpretation is that when baby boy put that refracted mirror in front of his face, he felt some kind of way, because at the end of the day, he know it's his choice for him not being present in his son's life. Absolutely.
You know what though? But still, you have to provide an answer.
You do.
And that answer is you. And it sounds
he took a
crazy.
He was a coward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cowardice.
Absolutely. And then you find yourself trying to make an excuse for that father. And you know, it's like, well, maybe he's this, or you don't know what he dealt with when he was this, or what caused. So it's always a why, but you know, you try to tell them you can't focus on the why, because you're going to be so much greater. You know, you gotta refuel that with a lot of positivity at the end of the day. And you may be talking around the topic, but truthfully, you have to just give them that idea of, listen, you're going to be so much better, and I can't wait to see how great you're going to be. So give them something to anticipate and to look forward to. And it always doesn't end up. And it's not a quick fix. It's not something that they're going to go home and be like, you know what, Mr. Will told me this and I feel much better. You have to give them consistency. Consistent love. It can't be one day of love. It got to be a consistent thing. So I keep in touch with a lot of those guys, man. And, man, I've seen guys go on, graduate, do great things, and they still call me. I'm just like, wow, now you got to come back and return the favor and make sure we create this army of guys that can help out other young men who are struggling or dealing with some of the things you were dealing with.
That's right, pay it forward. So we have none other than Miss Passion. Roosevelt says super serious with the hand emojis. And she also says serious has been a positive black man in our community for years now. High five.
Oh, Passion, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And it's such a great thing when you, because we don't do this for the likes, right?
No, we don't.
But when you get this type of love from your peers, immediate peers, and even people who don't know you, that's meeting you for the first time, it really empowers me. So I'm gonna let this be known now. That is what gives me the courage to say, you know what, I can't stop. I won't stop. There's stopping is not a possibility. So appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.
So I wonder for you, how do you keep from burning out? Because, bruh, like, you do a lot.
Man.
Like, people always ask me the question. Sometimes I be want to try to figure out a simple answer. I be like, I'm still trying to figure this out. But what do you do to keep you from burning out?
Man, you should see my calendar for one thing. Like, everything is green.
I can imagine.
Everything is like green, and half of the time I don't know how I get it done, but I get it done.
Get it done.
I've always been that go-getter, trendsetter, not a follower. And I you know what? It's more of a personal thing with me. Always trying to not outdo it, but see if I can and when I can. And If somebody books me, man, I always think of them before I think of me. I don't know if it's like that, which I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And when they express how bad, they're like, man, I really would want you.
Right.
You know you need some sleep. And
Yes,
you're just
goodness.
like, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna make it work however I can. Now there's been moments where I'll pull up to a venue and I get about 15, 20 minutes of cat nap right outside the venue. You know, changing shirts in between, leaving work and going here.
Right.
You know, picking up my son all the way from Homestead. It's my weekend, but I gotta come home, get him settled before I even take off.
Come on.
Things like that. You know, checking in, running back home, waking up bright and early, taking him to a basketball game. Going to get breakfast because he don't know nap time. Daddy's tired. He don't know what that is, right? And I see you when you in the car. They be in the back seat with you, going with you. So you just gotta. For me, it's just always knowing that no matter what I'm doing, I gotta give them that same energy, that same energy. Whether it's my son, whether it's a show, whether I'm hosting, whether it's the boys that I mentor, whether it's school. I just thank God that He does refuel me and gives me the ability to just keep going. That's just it. There is no clear cut answer to that.
It sure isn't. It said, I'm trying to remember, it says, the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
Absolutely.
And so us few laborers out there, God will definitely strengthen our hands for the good work that's being bequeathed unto us.
Yeah.
And so you've been out there listening to grind, and I be trying to figure out, like, I wonder what's his secret sauce, because I know my
And
secret.
then when you have the time to get some rest, I'm in the gym. I'm doing something like
right.
Man, so just like you,
I'm in the lab. I'm right. I'm like, I'm supposed to be asleep.
So that's what that is. So yeah, man. If you can, and life is, man, it's just on the backspin of what happened to Kobe Bryant. Life is just so short. And it goes by so quick, and it can be gone within a matter of seconds. So that concept of living your life to the fullest, I've embraced that even more now,
absolutely.
You know, and I not to say that I didn't value life before, but it's right around the corner, and you just really just have to just try to do as much as you can when you can for whoever you can. So that's my motto. Hint, so serious.
So serious. You know, people always be trying to say you do too much, and I'm like, it's for that reason, that philosophy, like literally. You know, I'm going to say this, too, when God takes the last breath out of my body. June 2nd, 2018 was that catalyst for me, because, like, I'm literally, like, I'm a planner. And you know, my sister and I had all these lofty things in play. And then when her heart stopped beating and her lungs took their last and she was gone, like, what happens to those dreams? What happens to those plans? And, you know, I put off a lot of stuff because of that. And I was like, you know what? I got to get it. Like, I can't put off for tomorrow. Because every now and then, there's certain areas that I would procrastinate in, you know. Those areas which was, you know, for me, because I'm so self-sacrificing for other people. I was like, no, I can't put Davi on the back burner no more. Now I got to make sure that I stay true to me. And I got to do things that speaks to my spirit. I can't just sacrifice for everybody else and their visions and everything get for them. And then I'm sitting there like, I ain't never been one to talk about regrets of woulda, coulda, shoulda. Nah, we not doing that. And so even with that, even when it came to, you know, that horrific, tragic helicopter crash, they were in the midst of doing life.
Absolutely.
And in the midst of doing life, a tragedy occurred. So that's why I'm like, you know what, everything that I do, like Kobe, give it a 200. Ain't a 100.
Listen, I have.
You got to give 200.
I have boys that's a part of that program, and they don't allow me to have downtime. When we try to, and I'm like, you know what, you guys take a week off, but why? But you know, immediately, it's like, you know what, you know, they need this, they want it, so. I got to make it happen. So either way, and just going back to what everybody's saying, thank y'all. Please continue to encourage and say, you know, y'all need more. And if it's in me to provide that, then I'm going to make that happen somehow, some way.
All right, so Passion says, you're not doing too much when God gives it to you and you love what you do. Facts. And that's why we able to do so much at a high velocity. So people are like, I can't even do a portion of that. I said, well, give your work to God and you'll see how much more you can give.
Yeah,
so I remember, we're going to go backpedal just for a second, of how your mentoring group started. And I just remember seeing you post in the outpouring, like you, okay, first of all, you put it out there. you weren't ready. You was not ready for how the community responded. With just so many young boys and the mothers and the fathers that you know in the community. People came out and the resources just start falling. What was that like for you? You saw the need and you didn't know that the need was just that plenteous.
Yeah, you know, I fought it for a long time, man. I avoided it. I tried to fight the feeling. And I also coach high school basketball.
Okay.
I'm a coach at Miami Springs Senior High School.
You got them handles. I forgot.
So,
you short, but you got them handles.
So I coach at Miami Springs Senior High School. This is my 5th year.
Okay.
And for the past 5 years, parents have come up to me and be like, Coach, I don't know what it is, but my son respects you more than he respects so-and-so.
Wow.
You know, and I'm just like, man, and for a long time, they've always said, you should really start a mentoring program. And before you know it, practice will be over, and I got a bunch of boys at my house. I'm like, y'all, it's time to go home. So when I finally decided to put this thing together, I was on Facebook, and I've never met this young lady. Her name is Latasha. Excuse me. Her name is Latasha, and she also does like broadcasting work and stuff like that. And she was interviewing. She's one of my followers, and she was interviewing this gentleman. And one day I told myself, I got to meet this girl so I can tell her this story. So I'm watching her interview this guy, and he's a personal trainer. And what they were talking about, just putting your work, legitimizing your work, right? And then that'll push you to just go ahead and do it. And she was like, you know, just make it legit, get a tax ID number, make it a nonprofit, do whatever you need to do.
Right.
Make that happen first, and then you'll see how serious you are about your drive, and you'll have to do the work then.
Facts.
I just sat there, and I'm just sitting there laughing. I just feel like she's talking to me, right? And I'm just sitting on Facebook, and the next day I made it a nonprofit. I was just like, you know what? And then I reached out to Facebook. I said, listen, I'm starting to mentor, and it was just the floodgates open. And I was like, okay, wait. I wasn't even thinking about how I'm going to do registration.
Oh, yeah.
So another week went by, 2 weeks went by, and I said, I'm going to just do an open I got a venue, and I told people it's going to be open registration.
It was crazy.
And I got 65 boys.
It was crazy.
65 boys that day. And that the work just had to get done. So there was no blueprint. It was just a goal, a passion, and I was just put myself as a willing vessel, like you say, you know, and say, just, hey, however you want this to work, it'll work. And since then, it's just been, I'm so glad that I took the time to put, you know, faith into my dream or what everybody else was seeing that I wasn't seeing. And it just manifests, and the seed has been planted, and it's just been growing. Boys, last year I attended 26 graduations.
Wow.
26 graduations, elementary, middle school, and high school. I was popping up. In one day I did 4 graduations. I took a day off and did 4 graduations.
Wow.
And walking in, you should see these faces. It's
Light
just
up.
like, man. And they was just like, wow, like, you know, and they mothers in tears, fathers who still involved, but just struggle with connecting with their boys and seeing a change.
Pause.
Yeah.
Speak to that, you know, fathers who are present but still cannot connect with their boys and not feel threatened by another man being in their life.
Yeah, so when I did the registration, obviously there was some apprehensive in the beginning. Fathers came in, sat there with the pout face, and as men, you just gotta connect and just say, you know, I'm not here to take a job. Like whatever you tell me a little bit about you, you help. You tell me something, and maybe I can use some of your things, and you can come in and help. And I had a father. It wasn't that he wasn't a good father. He was a great provider. He's a truck driver. He's just always on the road, you know. And the kid is just like, he feels like, you know, dad he's out there doing what he got to do. So when dad's there, he's in the room. Dad's in another room. If he got a question, he'll go and ask. There's no ill feeling. It's like he got to work, but they don't have that bonding time to really get to know each other. He didn't know what his favorite color is and things like that. So, and I think the minute his son saw how serious he was with me being a part of that in his absence, he grew fonder with his father. He was like, damn, I was like, look how, man, your dad and every day he calling me, how he doing, man? I'm like, look at that. And he was like, Dad, I'm good, man. Things like that. And before you know it, they have their own secret handshake now.
Love it.
They be on FaceTime, things like that. And I'm just like, I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. But to have fathers be involved in their kids' life and not care and to put that ego to the side is a beautiful thing. Thank God I haven't come across any situations where there was some real issues, but for the most part, it's been very manageable thus far.
So I love it. So how can our listeners and viewers support you in your mentoring program? Is there anything that you need for this year?
Yeah, so I'm looking for a new venue right now.
Okay.
Currently, I'm at the Joe Celestine Center, and that right there on 135th Street and Northwest 17th, in between 17th and 15th Avenue, right by Pepper Park. Mm-hmm. There's a community center there. The city is going through quite a few changes, and before it was a public place where you can go and you just had to sign it, but now people are paying for it, and like I mentioned, it's nonprofit. So for us, it's if I can meet at a park, I meet at a park. So if you know of any other venue that we can utilize, the goal is to teach. We have boys between the ages of 8 and 18. Okay. What we do, we teach them tangible skills. Give them confidence. Tangible skills such as we teach them how to change a tire. We got cooking classes.
Yes, teach them.
Knowing how to groom yourself. Waking up, making the bed, things like that. We go through a lot of I use a big brother system where we do rotation, so each child will have an opportunity to be responsible for four people. Okay. And you got to call them during the week and check up on them and see how things are going. If there's any issues that they can't handle, then it gets escalated to me. Then I call. We make home visits. Free tutoring. Shout out to Natalie. She provides all the tutoring. Anybody that's struggling with any classes. So we try to come and schedule tutoring time and help them with any subject areas that they're having difficult with. So, man, any way you want to help, whether that's, you want to be a part of any activities. We did a mother and son ball. And the sons had to invite their mom out, like a prom situation. Yes. And they all came out suited. We taught them how to tie a tie. It was surprising how some had never tied a tie. Mm-hmm. So to see them, some of them were crooked, but we rocked it.
I know that's right.
We rocked it. So in any way that you feel like books, pencils, supplies, we want to do our first annual back to school drive. But let's not wait till school is out when it's about to begin, because they can really utilize this during the summer when they have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. I plan on doing assignments, treasure hunts for them to have to go to the library, do research on our history and things like that. So whatever you can, inbox me. I'm at Will Serious, WILLSERIUS. It's not spelled wrong. I just left the O out because I wanted that apostrophe. Okay. Make it seem French.
Right, French. Parlez-vous français?
Make it French, so it's so serious.
So, guys, being that for me, Black History is 366 this year, you're looking at live Black history in the making. You are leaving an indelible mark each and every day, not only in the lives of the young men that you deal with in your mentoring group, but those who are in all your spheres of influence. Everywhere your feet touch, you're leaving a mark. And I want to salute you for being a powerful young man in South Florida.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I know earlier you asked for a poem, so it was like...
Oh, we're going to get into that. Hold on. We're going to get to that. Because I'm going to segue into that because, I got Adrian Carter in here. And I got the men in here. And for me, highlighting men who are making a difference, who are changing the narrative is essential for me. Like, that is like a key. I got to keep some brown, Black men before you. Like, you are not the stereotype. You are the norm, So
I'm really peanut butter. But
you peanut butter?
I try to claim
you peanut butter. I'm caramello.
Okay, all right, that's all right. No, that's good.
So because I want to get into that because I want to shift into the love, and then I'm gonna bring on Mr. Adrian Love Book Carter on.
Let's do it.
So we talked about off air because I'm talking about things that's trending. Mm-hmm. We're talking about how a new law can send parents of bullying to jail. You heard a little bit about that. Is in New York?
Yeah, I did. I did. So, you want my opinion on it?
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is, so just for those people who have not heard about it, I'm going to give you a little snippet of what's going on. So it's almost everyone has a story about their experiences, including me with bullies from back when they were in school, whether they were once dealt with or watched a wreak havoc on the playground. Fortunately, young kids today, many schools and parents have become more aware of bullying and have taken a much stricter approach on it. But somebody feels that one town may have gone a little too far. So North Tonawanda, a town located in western New York, has instated a new rule as of October 1st, 2019 that allows parents to be fined for $250 or be sentenced to 15 days in jail if their child for 2 or more times within a 90-day span commits bullying. So that's one little town in New York. But how do you feel about parents being held accountable for little Johnny and little Nene out there bullying folks?
Okay, so as far as the bullying, the parent. Now we're talking about discipline and bullying. That's two different things.
Right, because we're gonna go there about discipline. Mm-hmm.
So as far as the bullying thing goes, I always try to think of the child. Whatever is needed, if it's appropriate to pass a law that's going to protect kids, individuals, then I'm all for it.
Right.
But sometimes it can be taken out of context.
Absolutely.
And I think how do you judge overboard in the case of parenting bullying their kids? Like I just don't see how you can measure that. Essentially, it's almost like the child's word against the adult. But I'm not for the whole bullying thing. I think taking the parent away for 15 days creates another problem.
Oh yeah, kids gonna run amok.
Yeah. So I don't think that should be the punishment. I think some form of counseling, teaching how to come up with other alternative solutions, things like that. So I'm totally not for the sentencing, but if it's needed and it's going to protect that child, then I'm all for it.
Okay. I'm all for about protecting our kids. And there's so much we could talk about that. I just saw a link today about 14, I don't even know, because you said that, my mind just went to protecting our kids. 14 men, particularly men of color, down in South Georgia, were arrested for a sex trafficking with child sting at a higher education.
Yeah,
I believe it's in Valdosta, Georgia. And this is going off. I'm not again. I'm one of them sleep deprived. So if I'm getting the little city wrong, please forgive me. Hold on. And I read.
It's if the child bullies another child.
Oh.
The parent
So, okay. So the cleanup. So it says when I talked about the bullying, it says a new law could send parents to jail if their children bully other children. I thought I said that, but that's what I meant in my mind. That's what I said. Parents would go to jail if their kids. I said bullying other kids. That's what I said on the playground.
But
You said it.
I said okay. I wanted to make sure I was correct.
The thing is, they shouldn't.
The parent
At what point should the child be accountable for their own actions?
Right.
And then you got to think about the age. At what age? Now, there's things that we should be instilling, teaching kids and things like that. But again, another child bullying another child and the parent having to be the outlet, the one that is punished because of their child's action, is almost like, so if a child, I don't know if you guys remember the Lionel Tate.
Yeah.
And how the wrestling and he so what if that parent went to jail because that child did that, those are just things that I don't totally agree with. I think that child should be further assessed, and that child should be involved in a lot of programs, mentoring programs, maybe like
definitely,
right. So
definitely.
But I don't think the parent should be responsible, in that. Now if there's some neglect and that child had let's see, in a sense where the parent had been promoting that,
right,
and they witnessed that, then that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. But you have some parents that are just working parents, and they're not around as often to totally watch their kids' activities. And let me tell you something. I've been I'm mentoring for a long time. Just because it wasn't incorporated, I've been mentoring for a long time. And I've seen kids play both sides of the fence.
Me too.
I've seen kids come off as being sweethearts, the best thing in the eyes of parents. And when they hit that door,
that's a whole
you
other
cannot believe. You cannot believe what they did and some of the things they speak on. So how does a parent, monitor things like that? So, but again, that's another thing. But it's going back to the trafficking. That is crazy.
And they're children, right?
Yeah.
Like these, I'm talking about. Who? So in reading the article, it specifically stated that in this thing, and I think they were very intentional this time because they've been prematurely, not letting the stings go through. But with these particular men and their actions, they each thought they were setting up sexual interaction, engagement with a child. Like they, under the age of 14, like they were intentionally going to have sex with a child, a minor, grown men. Like they set it up. They thought, I'm not going to keep saying this, that they were intentionally going to have sex with the child. 14 men. A dean of a university. Child pornography. I don't understand what it is from the dawn of time, what it is about pre-puberty age girls' bodies that men are so infatuated with when it comes to sexual exploitation. For me, I think it's the power dynamic. There's a whole lot of stuff. Thank you. So I was right. The power dynamic. And it's sickening. That broke my heart.
Yeah, there's definitely a rooted issue, a deep rooted issue.
Deep rooted.
And it's not normal, especially with people of our generation.
Right.
We look at things like that and be like, no, there's absolutely something wrong mentally. I'm one that does not write off mental illness.
I don't
and you have to somewhat think outside. You have to be subjective about this because I really believe that there are some spiritual things that are going on in our community that they're struggling with as well. I don't discount that. But there is a handful of people that are trying to create this culture, this cult-like culture, in my opinion. This is strictly my opinion. And they try to glamorize it where they try to make it normal and okay when it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Stop that.
It's
and
perversion.
Very much so. And we have to. I really don't know how you stop that. When we're finding these things at points where it could have gone terribly wrong.
Yeah.
So kudos to law enforcement.
Yeah. And for letting this play out.
Yeah.
Because I've seen other things, and they're like where they couldn't be definitive on. That's another Adrian word. Be definitive. They couldn't be definitive on.
That's right. Be definitive.
On what was the age, but I said I hope they get right up under the jail because I've been there. So my heart goes out to those parents. Like my mind just go out to my babies, and people think I'm too hypervigilant.
No.
But we have to protect our kids. So when you set laws to protect our children, we have to love and honor our kids, and their young bodies are sacred. Their innocence is sacred, and nothing, like every time I turn on the TV, I'm seeing just perversion. Like there's no other way to put it, and I could even go on like.
You wonder if these guys,
oh my gosh,
how do they even get a team of men like this?
Right? How do they know
they
can get away with it,
so
bro?
So recruiting. Are they recruiting people who have gone through things such as them to try to make it comfortable to say, hey, I know what you're feeling. Like this is, you get what I'm saying?
Like they're trying to normalize this.
Right. So think about, I don't know if anybody got an opportunity to see the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it in the queue for me to watch.
So if you see that, I'm not going to say too much about it, but he went through so much.
He did.
That I can see how he ended up the way he ended up. And he knew early on how unstable it was. But again, playing both sides of the fence, he had to put on. The scary part is they're walking around us as normal as can be.
Yes.
It's no, like you said, look at the positions that they hold.
Sociopaths, man.
Yeah. So those are things that you can't discount. Somebody by the way they look. They may look put together. They may hold a certain status,
Come
job. But listen, I teach, I also speak to girls. I teach young girls, listen, if you go hug somebody, hug them from the side. Don't stand in between their legs.
Give them church hugs.
So I don't even care. I tell my nieces, I don't care if that's your uncle, your next door neighbor.
You better say
you
it.
got to know how you got to hug somebody. When somebody
That's
get
right.
to talking about, girl, you getting thick. No,
No.
that is inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
So things like that. So those are things that we have to continue to hold on to. Those things, those gems that are those that came before us taught us. Let's not forget some of those things because we have to pass that on. So these kids can recognize the signs and see the behaviors that are inappropriate, so they can say, oh no, that's not of anything normal. On the contrary to what other people may think or say. So
You see, I always say this to y'all that I am surrounded by amazing men. And boy, you just, listen, boy, if I was in the church, I'd have threw my Bible and amen you down for that because we need more men to speak that to our girls because our girls don't have these boundaries and they're so used to these perverted men and they think that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, little mama, that's not okay.
no, don't get excited when you see somebody, hey, uncle, jumping on them. No, listen,
Right,
sit
sitting
down,
on in his lap.
No,
Sit,
we're not doing
sit
that.
your,
Not doing that.
Yeah, so I do that. So we're going to shift the conversation. I definitely thank you, for dropping them gems. And so, like I said, tonight I really wanted to I'm probably going to have to pull on Adrian, my little love connoisseur, coach expert, all that over there, everything that Adrian love what Carter got going on. It's February.
It is.
And Friday is Valentine's Day. And I
It
know,
is.
like I said, love, just like celebrating Black, got to be 366, 365. But being that we are in a love deficient world, and I need something funky and sexy for Valentine's Day coming up. And those who like me, what do the single and lonely folks do on Valentine's Day? I'll be in New York ripping the runway. But can you go ahead and drop something a little sexy for my viewers and listeners?
Something sexy.
Something sexy. This is for grown folks. We ain't talking.
Okay.
We just came from
You know
to
what,
talk
I'ma
about
mix
you.
it. I'ma mix
So
it.
we gonna. So you can hit us with a little something.
Okay. I can't really explain this, but I'm so into you. I get chills every time you come around, and I'm thinking to myself, a woman like yourself can't be single. But if you are, the dance floor is open. So let's conversate. Dinner for two. Allow me to introduce myself as a person of interest. This must be a moment of clarity because I've always been into you like a French kiss. Pure bliss upon your lips intensifies my craving for tasting. So let's cut to the chase and stop wasting time. My name is Sirius and I'm far from patient. But you know what? I can tell that you frustrated. You tired of being cheated on, lied to, and played with. Caught up in the cycle of giving so much but receiving so little. Blinded by love, so it's hard for you to see that three's a crowd and you, well, let's just say you that monkey in the middle. Now, see, mama say there'll be days like this, but sleeping with a married man was never part of the lesson plan. But you allowed his love and good looks to string you along into this love affair, and now you're confused. Spiritually inclined, you insist that this too shall pass while he laughs immensely. Convinced that love has no boundaries, you suppress your feelings and allow his ego to grow. Only to realize allowing him to sleep with you is the only reason why he ain't letting you go. So I ask, is the humiliation worth fighting for? Is the sex that good that you're willing to accept as excuses of being his side chick and not his wife? Well, ignorance has its way, but common sense knows that this ain't right. So I write to let you know that I can be a better man. Clean yourself up and stop accepting the shit you ain't even consumed. Know your worth. Because see, when I look at you, I see strength and stability. I see a woman that needs a man and not a boy. I see pain that runs deeper than the root of the problem. You know what I see? I see hope. See, I don't want to be your man. I'd rather be your rock. So let's elope and allow me to reconstruct your perception of what a real man is, because the truth is, ladies, you deserve better. See, long days and lonely nights only intensifies your reason to leave. Feeling so grounded, you drop to your knees and ask God, well, God, why me? He replies, a man will only go as far as you allow him to go. So ignoring the fact that he had a ring on his finger pretty much just made you irrelevant. Emotionally scarred, reality sets in like a new day. And I know it's hard for you to romance again, but your heart is telling you to try again. So why not then? Allow me to change your perception of what a real man is, because the truth is you deserve better. See, when I look at you, I see strength and stability. I see a woman that needs a man and not a boy. I see pain that runs deeper than the root of the problem. I see hope. See, all I need is a chance to prove to you is that sometimes you don't need a man to complete you, and that beauty actually begins with you. Thank y'all.
Yo.
Happy Valentine's Day to all y'all, even all the singles. Listen, don't worry about it if you got somebody, if you don't. If you're single, it begins with you. Enjoy life to the fullest. Enjoy it however you can. If you ain't got nobody that's loving on you, love yourself.
Yes, I'm going to buy myself some own chocolate-covered strawberries. I'm going to pop me some more wet. Yes, I said it. Some more wet. Some rosé. And I'm also gonna buy me some long stem roses. So I'll just be sending them to myself when I get back from New York. Oh man, Will, so serious. I call him so serious. Man, thank you for dropping them gems. You don't have. I'm not to kick you out the studio
I'm
because I got Adrian Lovebook Carter. So I'm thinking I'm gonna close this live and go back live again, so that way when you guys share, it won't be a super long video, so that way you can share it with your folks. Thank you for coming on in. Oh, do you have any other upcoming hosting events, anything we can catch you spilling? Are you rocking the mic anytime soon?
Yeah. So this Thursday, I'm doing a pre-Valentine at Club Rain.
Okay.
So it's an erotic night. So it's
Is that May event?
No, that's I'm a shot that one too. So that one is actually called Cuffing Season.
Oh, who don't cuff?
it's hosted by Fat and Funny.
Okay.
Shout out to Fat and Funny.
Okay. Oh my God.
So it's at
Okay.
Club Rain. So myself and El Michelle,
Okay.
we're providing the poetry, erotic poetry for the evening. So that's this Thursday, February 13th. And then this Friday, Fab Friday, I host an event. So the early part of it, between 8 and 10, we are featuring, it's called Lovers and Friends Edition.
Okay.
And we got our features for the evening, May Rain and Bertrand Boyd. Shout out to Bertrand Boyd. And we got Keenan the Experience on the sax.
Yo.
So shout out to Keenan. That's this Friday at Nomi's Bar and Grill. It's free all night. There is a pre-selected menu, so if you want to come in and have food, it's $30. That includes fried lobster tails. Just to give you fried lobster tails. So if you want to eat, you can pay $30, and it's an amazing menu. It's fried lobster tails. You have shrimp pasta, Cajun shrimp pasta, anything you want in that regard. Those just 2 things that's on the menu. So so this Thursday and this Friday, Club Rain, Nomi's Bar and Grill on Friday. And you can just follow me on Facebook, because I'm going to be featuring at some other places too. I just can't say it yet because the flyers haven't came out. But stay tuned. You could just follow, and I'll drop it as those days get closer.
Tell the folks that's listening to you again by way of Strong Arm Radio, and those who are watching, tell them how they can find you on social media one more time.
So it's all social media platforms is the same. It's Will Serious, WILLSERIUS, no O.
All right, you heard it live. So, guys, I'm about to go off. You're watching Facebook Live. I'm about to bring none other than Mr. Adrian Lovebook Carter.